Hello Leo, and welcome to your January 2022 reading. So, Happy New Year. May the light, the love, the inspiration, healing, abundance come to you during the next year. So, I've meditated on your energy and what for the month of January, what Spirit wanted to talk to you about. The first two cards that came out are Seven of Wands, Seven of Cups. Now these are the number 7. So right away what we're talking about, the number 7 is a master number. It's the art of rising above the mechanism of our ego. Okay? So 7 of Wands, this is when we use our fire, our willpower to push back, resist, defend the attacks of the world. And the 7 of Cups, this is when our emotional vibration is completely over, let's say, all over the place, blocking the reality in front of us. So we're projecting our old wounds, our dreams, it's all mixed together. So this together would be a bit like Don Quixote, you see? He would fight the windmills because he projected an enemy watching them on it, like a grand enemy in the fields watching the windmills. And at the same time, his heart was completely devoted to a love that never looked twice at him. It was all projection, projection, projection. All of his energy and his wit was used towards that. So I'm not saying you're Don Quixote here. I'm just saying this is like an extreme of the 7 of Wands and 7 of Cups together. But we always have it a little bit inside of us. So it could be just that, how much do I trust the outside? How much, do I make the difference between, how reality is filtered through my emotions? What is real? What is my intuition? What is a projection? That fine line between the two. Okay? The card that comes after is the 9 of Cups. So in a way, it's taking that dynamic, okay, and confronting it with grounded, emotional completion. So here we see the cups are in a cloud filled with different projections, castle in Spain, snake in the grass, and so on. And here they're all processed over his head, is in his higher self, hint the white robe, and he is content, happy, serene. His waters are good. So when he receives an intuition from, from the grid, from cosmic intelligence, from name it what you want, it is not filtered through his traumas, his dreams, his hopes, and his fears. It is clear. Okay? Like that's the basis of having great intuition. And so he is not in reactions to these things. He is calm and, sitting here. And then we have the Ace of Swords and the King of Cups. So cups, cups, cups. This month, Leo, even if you're a fire sign, when it comes to your waters, that's where you're going to have a huge clarity. And this month we do have the full moon in Cancer, which is going to bring light to that aspect of yours. So under here, our 2 sevens, we have the 4 of swords. So there's, you know, you're conscious about this, and you know that these reactions maybe, or these projections, you know, this just taking personal something that somebody does or somebody says because it has happened to you before and it hurt you, and so it takes a size that it shouldn't take or whatever. It brings disappointments. It brings, you know, we have expectations because we projected on somebody, on the situation or whatever, and we're disappointed. So of course you're conscious about it and observing your past sorrows and your past disappointments. And under that we have a Page of Cup, which tells me, you know what, you're gonna get a little extra cup here, which is going to bring you to the 9 of Cups. And under the 9 of Cups, what do I have? The 8 of Pentacle and the 3 of Pentacle. Now these are two, one is investing in itself, concentrated, putting his energy, not in resisting or projecting, because here there's not a lot of movement forward in these two when they're not mastered. But here, oh yes, something is happening. And the 3 of Pentacle, it's exactly like, yes, from a standpoint of grounded, processed emotions, I can invest myself 100%. Passionate focus. Look how grounded he is with his red pants, and he is focused on what he's doing. That means that his intention, his how he visualizes it, architect, priest, and here the craftsman, how he invests himself, it is all aligned. It is not confused anymore in fantasy dreams and then having resistance about it. Under the Ace of Swords and the King of Cups, I have the 4 of Cups. And at that point, because here I see you taking that cup, it's more like coming out of a 4 of Cups. Coming out of limiting. You know, this is a bit like when our inner world is filled with beautiful things, but our reality does not correspond to it. Or our inner world is filled with pain and sorrow, and we see it everywhere outside, so we're resisting. And if we reduce our experience, our emotional vibration of experiences here to what we have known, then we'll never get out of there. Okay? And here, the last, I have 4 of Wands and 10 of Cups. So what that tells me is that there is going to be a resolve, an understanding about emotional groundness, emotional maturity, and the effect that it will have on you is that you will be even more engaged in your reality, in the improvement of your reality. And then here, bottom of the deck, I have the 8 of Wands. So instead of wasting all your energy in fighting those, you know, impossible mountains to climb and attacks and hardships, you will start being in the flow, and your moves will start giving back, and so on. So let's clarify this for Leo. And of course, like I was saying, this is on all different levels for each one of you, depending on how big this has been in your life. Okay? I call upon the divine. I call upon the light. I call upon the Holy Spirit. Help me clarify this reading for Leos. for the month of January 2022. The year 2022 will be a year of balance, attaining balance through a multitude of choices. 222. Okay, let's see, that's those two sevens here. 7 of Wands, 7 of Cups. All right, so of course that way of using your fire, because of the waters that the, you know, 7 of Cups, it's Venus in Scorpio. So we have Venus, planet of unconditional love and abundance, the divine feminine, what is allowed in. When it arrives in Scorpio, and let's say Scorpio did not clean out, did not let die the events, the experiences, the traumas of its past, they remain there. So when she brings her energy into this, it vibrates and comes up like a cloud. So there's a lot of projection. So, you know, if you apply for a job and you haven't been acknowledged in the past or rejected or whatever, you're gonna having to defend yourself from being rejected before it happens, or in love, or in whatever. And the same thing if it's, you can fall into the projections of a castle in Spain, and then it becomes like unreachable. Therefore, there's no movement forward. You're not engaged in the castle in Spain. So it creates more anxiety than anything else. So all of this creates a lot of mental stress. And here we have the 10 of Swords. So you're coming into the month with that, you know? Having to defend yourself for your dreams or whatever. But you come in the month knowing the stress and the anxiety that provoked on you. Because you're looking at this from a completely different standpoint, different angle. And it probably, because of that dynamic, it put a hold on your growth, the investment of you in your life, leaving it in the 7, the unmastered 7s. So let's look at your 9 of Cups. And that was because, 9 of Cups, we have an Ace of Cups. I was going to say that's because you were lacking water. Because you were still holding on to old wounds in your water, and that was affecting your vibration. So here, this month, you're going to have access to an Ace of Cups, okay? And when I say access, the Ace of Cups are always there around us. It's our capacity to absorb it. And here, you're going to allow yourself to absorb it, and this is going to bring you to this state of emotional fulfillment. Ace of Swords, it's going to bring a clarity with it, because now you're going to be able to read, you know, is it my ego speaking, or is it my higher self speaking? Is it intuition or projection and reaction? With the Ace of Swords and the King of Cups, here we have Judgment and we have the Moon. So what will happen with allowing this Ace of Cups into your life. It's going to bring here this judgment. You see how all these people come out of coffins floating on water. This is like, oh my God, I see where all of these old wounds and projections came from. And I'm going to address them. Here is the moon. This is kind of the process of a moon quest. The lobster coming out of the water. A lobster crawls in the bottom of the water. So all those things we push down into our subconscious and unconscious is climbing up to the surface to be addressed. So either we take it and we react with it, or we use that trumpet of an angel rising above it, seeing it for what it is, and healing it by vibrating higher than it, making a judgment, allowing it not to be part of us anymore, but to englobe, let's say, the part of the soul that lived it, but purifying the trauma from it. Here, Four of Swords. This is something that has been draining you mentally, let's say, okay? Four of Swords. You came, you turned around. It was the Five of Pentacles. And here I have the Hangman again. So, you know, it could be around abandonmentship, not feeling enough, and so on. And you developing mechanism to compensate because of that. But since emotionally you still had the wound, you were able to project it all around you. Let's see. You want to put it back? Okay. Yeah, they're putting back the Hangman. All right. So, analyzing it, at one point, you got to look at it from a completely different standpoint. And of course, when it comes to your investment and growth into what you want to build, probably it was hanging for a while. And with it, I have the Queen of Cups, King of Cups, Queen of Cups. It is your waters that are being assessed and healed this month, Leo. Page of Cups. King of Cups. High Priestess. So there it is. This is actually going to fine-tune your intuition, because probably it was a bit blurred by your emotional baggage. If we don't clean our emotional baggage, we do more projection than actually intuition. You know, like if I was attacked in the woods by a bear, I look at the woods and I'm like, I have this feeling of, I don't trust it. Well, it's because of the trauma I have associated with the forest. But if I don't have the trauma associated with the forest and my waters are clear, I will distinct between, yes, this is a safe passage, and no, over there is danger. Then it's going to be my intuition and not a projection. Same thing with people, situations, opportunities. I'll be able to read them well. Eight of Pentacles. So with that Ace of Cups, Eight of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles. Actually building your solidity, building your empire, building something that will keep on giving from one generation to another. But that will not be limited. See, it was like that. That will not be limited by what you've experienced before, and that is all that there is. So there's really a need in order to grow yourself here. There's this need to rise above what you have known before. So that means changing the vibration of the waters within you. 3 of Pentacles. Yeah, changing the vibration within you. Hint, the 8 of Cups. That means I'm not going to limit myself to what I've experienced. I know there's more out there, and I'm going to go for it. I'm going to use my wand. You see this guy, he has a wand in his hand. I'm going to use my willpower, not to fight against my projections, but to actually go towards that emotional fulfillment. I will not let myself be robbed of these experiences that I can have. Restraining myself to what I've known in my life, I'm actually cheating myself. I'm actually robbing myself of happiness, fulfillment, growth. If I remain in that 4 of Cups here, and here is the 7 of the Chariot, and that is a mastered 7. So what does it mean? It means that everything that was like unconscious, okay, in the shadow, in the moon happening, he's mastered it. That's why his armor has moons on the shoulders. He went through the moon quest. And now is, I was saying with the 3 of Pentacles, your aspiration, your aim, your intention has to be clear to give direction to where you're going. There it is. On his forehead, he's got the 8-pointed star of the star card. It's a bit blurry, but... and therefore, he doesn't need to control. That guy does not have reins to control, the Sphinx in front of him. He is so aligned that he's actually moving past, moving forward at full speed, because a chariot is full speed, because his unconscious and his conscious are going in the same direction. So, mastering the 7 here. So, there you are. Instead of being limited to what you have known before, and you know what, life is not so exciting. Here I have the 8 of Pentacles and the 9 of Cups. This is the dynamic that's happening in your life. Contentment, happiness, fulfillment, and giving you the capacity to completely invest yourself into something that makes you happy. And then we have the 10 of Cups. And because, of course, 9 plus that Ace of Cups, that's probably going to allow you to truly, what? Why can't I actually invest myself in something that will bring me happiness, that will bring me joy and fulfillment? 4 of Wands, 10 of Cups. From 9 plus 1, of course, makes 10. So it's normal that the 10 of Cups is here. And whatever was preventing you from investing yourself like that is going to be lifted, because you're going to have that clarity in your waters. And that is when this Ace of Swords reaches the, is joined by the intelligence of the waters in that vibration, and there's this embodiment of that understanding. You can have something, purely mental, that's one vibration, but when you embody it in your waters, when every cell in your body understands the same thing, not just your brain, not just, I would say, your left brain, then it's completely different. Okay, Here I stopped on the Chariot. Then you truly move forward. 10 of Cups. Woo! 4 of Wands. We have the Knight of Swords. Yes, this is going to be fly away. 6 of Pentacle. This is going to be just 6 of Wands. Acknowledgement, success. The Pope. This is, we had the High Priestess and the Pope. I understand it emotionally and I apply it. I engage myself. I make a decision physically. Okay? Like spirituality, religion, invisible, visible, and so on. High Priestess, priest. As above, so below. What I understand now and the invisible, I can apply in my life, and there's nothing sabotaging me anymore. So, on this, my beautiful Leos, this is amazing. I'm going to call this, oh my God. Because this is like an engagement into your life. Engagement. All right. I'm going to call it like that because it's going to be different for all of you. But if you watch this at the end of the month, you're going to see here maybe even more how this process applied into your life. So thank you for watching, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Please subscribe to help grow the channel. If you want a private reading, there's going to be the email below. But this month I'm going to start taking my emails, therefore opening the computer only starting the 17th of January. I'm taking a little break to resource myself. And so I'll come back to you all regenerated. So thank you also for the ones of you who gave donations this month. And you know, it helps more than you think. And this month to give you back, the new moon is on the 2nd of January. So of course I take your names and I do a little ceremony to give you back. So on this, my beautiful Leos, it's going to be the new moon in Capricorn, by the way. So my beautiful Leos, I'm sending you all my love and light for the month of January and of course all of next year. And I'll see you next month.